Hello everyone, welcome to the new video. I'm really glad to have you here today. Peter Sellers was a genius comedic actor whose most famous films include The Pink Panther 1964, Dr. Strangelove 1964, The Mouse That Screamed in 1959, and Being There in 1979. Sellers was known for getting into his role with great energy and passion and even bringing his character with him off stage. He sometimes suffered from sadness and depression in the interval between his films, and sometimes he used drugs. Although he knew the character of his role very well, he always said that I don't know who I am. Sellers once told Shirley MacLaine about his experience when he was on set working on one of his last major films, Being There. Peter Sellers, who had a heart condition, had his first heart attack in 1964 at the age of 39. While his heart stopped, he saw his body from outside and saw a very bright light full of love and affection. I felt like I was leaving my body. I was floating in the air, and I saw my physical body being taken to the hospital on a stretcher, and I followed it. I had no fear, because I felt that I was perfectly fine, even though my body was in trouble. I looked around, and above my head I saw a very bright and beautiful white light that was full of affection and love. I wanted with all my heart to go towards that white light, more than anything I had ever wanted in my life. I knew that on the other side there was the light of true love that attracted me like this. This light was full of love and affection, and I thought to myself that this is God's light. Meanwhile, the doctors were busy giving massage and electric shock to Peter Sellers' heart. Peter says that his soul wanted to ascend to the light but didn't reach it. At that time, a hand came towards me from within the light. I tried to reach out and grab it, or at least touch it, to take me with it into the light. But a voice from the light told me that the time has not yet come. Go back and finish the card. It's not time yet. At the same time, Peter Sellers' heart starts to beat again, and he feels that he's descending towards his body, and finally he opens his eyes with a fling of frustration and sadness. Peter Sellers also had several strokes and other near-death experiences. These experiences left a tangible impact on Peter Sellers' life. In his biography of Sellers, Walker says, "For Peter, these repeated deaths had become the most important experience of his life. He said that I'm not afraid of dying anymore." His friends and relatives said that he became more thoughtful and spiritual. Sometimes it was as if Peter's body was here, but his soul and thoughts were somewhere else. For Peter Sellers' wife, Bridget Land, it was a bit disturbing and strange that his active and busy husband has now become so quiet. Sometimes Peter would stare motionless at his wife for a long time without saying anything. Deep in thought, after his stroke, Peter returned to England to rehabilitate, but fell back into his old habits and bought his 84th car, an expensive Ferrari. A few years before his experience, Peter had played the role of the devout priest in the film High Heaven and had become interested in Christianity himself, even though he was originally Jewish. Around the same time in 1962, his father died, and he used to get into long discussions with one of his neighbors, who was a priest, trying to find a compromise between the abundance of material life and the emptiness of his soul. But after his near-death experience, Peter deepens his search for meaning in life and continues his conversations with Reverend Hester until he comes close to converting to Christianity. Later, he has started practicing yoga regularly and says that yoga has given him a peace she didn't think was possible. He believed that his extraordinary talent for impersonation and acting was due to the memories his soul brought from previous lives. But in his last life, he felt lost and always said that he didn't know who he was and why he came to Earth. He used to say to Shirley MacLaine, "I know I've had many lives before. My experience made that clear to me. In this life, I saw what it was like to be separated and out of my body. But since I came back to my body, I don't know why I can't remember what I was supposed to do and why I came back." Peter Sellers' near-death experience took him a deeper level of spiritual search, but it didn't cause a huge and major change in the way he lived. But when Peter's last heart attack happened in England in 1980, it was time for him to go.